So I made a very long, well, the actual review of the Sun and Bone game that I made is pretty short. The first 5 or so minutes basically tell you the game's worth playing. It's one of those pizza and beer kind of games, like we point out right here in the description. I even say sit around the campfire for a review of Sun and Bone. And then that we also discuss the state of gaming, mental illness that the gaming press promotes, encourages, and cultivates, the lack of respect for great pizza and beer games like Sun and Bone. So, yeah, we explain off jump that this isn't just a normal review, that we're wanting to do something a little different here. That's also why the gameplay footage repeats. And I'm not really trying to defend my own video because I didn't put a ton of effort into it, but I did make a lot of great points. And the interesting thing is that, yes, you could say that maybe I repeated some of them. Maybe out of the 48 minutes, there's about 15 to 20 minutes that could be repetitive, but it's definitely not, 20 consecutive repetitive minutes. It's like you'll have 5 minutes of new information, then maybe 2 or 3 that I repeat. But if you're somebody who's actually enjoying the video and you want to sit down and chill and listen to somebody talk about a game and use that as a jump-off point for a cool discussion, that's what I was trying to do here. And so why I'm explaining that is because I'm trying to point out that the very idea of what I'm discussing in this review and the discussion that I have, sorry, not to ramble too much and repeat myself, but the whole thing that I'm trying to get across here is that reviews are entirely too negative, that everything's about judging something, and often it's not even valid criticisms because we're not trying to really assess what something is. It's like when people act like this review is bad because I talk a long time ranting about game media and people telling me, oh, I shouldn't do that. That's not why I came for the review. There are tons of other reviews that are doing that, just like, if you play a game that doesn't exactly play the way you think it should, well, there are a bunch of other games that probably do play that way. So I don't think that you should judge something unless you're judging it based on what it's trying to be. If I explain to you that we're sitting down for a discussion, and if at the end of the day I spent the first 5 minutes basically trying to give a brief overview of what the game was so that people could just turn it off if that's all they wanted. Is the idea not to give people what they need and want off jump and then afterwards go, okay, well, now that I've done that, let me just, use this as a soapbox or a jumping board to talk about things that I think are important. And at the end of the day, if I believe these things are important and I'm taking a stand for those reasons, and if I'm actually correct about my theories, then at the end of the day, all I'm trying to do is help people while actually hurting, no one. Because at the end of the day, the only way that I want to hurt people is that if there's like an evil wizard out there and all of this magical, mystical, supernatural shit is real, I would love to manifest evil's demise. The people who are oppressing us. Basically, we are all powerless, and I hate that the powerless are being pitted against each other by the powerful, and it's so blatant and it's so obvious. And when you have reviews that are nothing but negativity, or when they're judging things so harshly and incorrectly, that's what I was talking about in this entire video. So let me read to you a response that I wrote out to all of the criticisms, because at the end of the day, maybe those criticisms are valid. But what isn't valid is the fact that there's nothing but harsh, discouraging criticism. I understand and know my worth. I might not be the most amazing person in the universe, or maybe I am, who knows. But I do know this. I do know that there should at least be a few people who are digging what I'm doing. Because if you actually know your worth, but you're not an egotistical prick, you should go, all right, maybe the 30 negative comments are valid. But shouldn't there also be like 3 or 4 people who than really, like, if you're sitting there going, I don't have to have hundreds of people love me, but I'm sitting here going, I know that I make content that's unique, different enough, that's talking about things that aren't discussed, and that I have a certain technical know-how. Again, it may not be the best shit in the world, but I think just for the uniqueness and the fact that there's definitely people out there that this shit would resonate with, and that's why I'm pointing out that I'm still totally shadow banned by the government, because if I'm actually talking about things that, again, what I'm about to address in this comment, like, if I'm not the crazy person, and you're welcome to judge me thinking I am, but you have a lot more to gain if you just give me the benefit of the doubt. Because this is my response to all of these negative criticisms that are the video's too long. It's like nobody's sitting there listening to the fact that I'm just trying to point out that when we talk about games that we understand people are going to like or dislike, but we act like, well, that means the game is good or bad, that's just not healthy. Because somebody's going to find the worst game in the world and they're going to have the greatest time with it, and that's actually a healthy thing to do. One of the main points I tried to make is I think the idea of like a really good gamer is somebody not who's just, really highly skilled, but somebody who can sit down and enjoy any game they want. I think that's what makes a true gamer. So, you can go and you can watch that review and you can look at the comments that you're about to see, but this is my response. Man, these corpo bot agents of the Matrix hate when I preach the truth so effortlessly. I mean, yeah, hate me, judge me, condemn me. It just shows I know my values are correct, and anyone attacking me for it, well, why would I care or listen? I planted myself beside the river and tree of truth. I refuse to move when you try and make me. So you know what that means? It means y'all gotta move, because I am rooted. My seeds have borne the most wonderful fruit, and I am here for the people I can help or inspire. For the good I can do by speaking the truth. The fact you condemn me for valid points, questions, and philosophy, or the fact that it is easy to prove that my points are healthy and yours are toxic. Well, just keep proving my points. I am still shadow banned because there is no balanced response. No one who finds this and goes, cool shit, even if I do not believe it, I dig it. My content is good enough to have real fans. I work my butt off and clearly always try and do the right thing. That deserves respect, not everyone's. I just know my own worth. I know that what I am doing is nothing to condemn. I mean, well, discouraging that, missing the valid points, the entire actual point, refusing to comment on the walls I am breaking down by being one of the few to speak so honestly and openly. I am willing to make a fool and do whatever it takes because I want to help us all. I hate the contradictions of our reality. Life can be better, but no one is willing to fight or do the work. I have nearly died. Now, even while defying medical science, I am healthier than ever. This is all totally true, and it's why I don't believe that I'm crazy and that I believe I actually am right and am the chosen one. Because I am now doing better than ever while defying medical science. I know what helped me, and I know all I'm trying to do is help those who are hopeless, lost, or needing a friend who wants to lift them up. What's so fucking wrong with that? Oh, I seem crazy. Why? Because I'm willing to face public shame for doing what I believe is right, while harming no one? I mean, unless I am right, and not crazy at all, then I would be harming evil, and that I am good with, happy about, and rejoice, and to me, it seems I have done and am doing just that, because I think this video proves by my points and observations that I am actually the only sane one in this nut house. And I'm not trying to say that to insult anyone, but, I'm trying to prove a point here that I'm not looking at anything judgmentally. My sanity is because I look at all of you powerless people that the world wants me to judge and hate because they want me to feel so superior to you, and I'm like, I'm not superior to you. I don't wish to be superior to you. I wish you all to be my equals. I don't want to be a god. I want to be just like everybody else. And how does that empowering knowledge affect me? It makes me realize and act on with great power comes great responsibility. I have done nothing but fight for those who cannot fight or have no one to fight for them, to try and not pick sides or to judge, but to just fix the problems and realize the only people to be condemned are our leaders. I feel nothing but love for all those who are powerless. You are not to blame. It is the powerful who are to blame, who pit us against each other, who hoard power for only selfish, cruel reasons. Otherwise, the world would be different. I am the chosen one, because I am telling you we can end their oppression peacefully, and that I have proven that trusting me is justified. You know, the crazy ones in movies are always proven right. And if people just listened, lives could have been saved. Here is the thing. Since these agents and the shadow banning is so bad, I cannot trust anyone who does not offer their time and love for support. Because that is all we need. You can watch the videos and realize I may be crazy, but I am the crazy one who will be the shield who, if is truly sane, has stood against evil and has put my life on the line for you all. And what do I want in return? Your help to put an end to this once and for all. For us all. I do not want worship, I only want your love. Because I love and I fight for you. Love is not worship. I just want you to feel it so you can realize, wow, if he is right, he is our ticket out of here. And he really is doing it to help us all. I promise when all is said and done, I can be just a normal fucker you all laugh at. Until you need me again. Here's the deal, folks. If you find a merit in that, and then you go and you watch the videos and you find merit and valid points in what I do, and yes, I'm asking you to give my time, but because I'm also ultimately going to ask you to try to share these videos so that we can expose the truth, so you can help me break through the shadow ban, so we can do this together. And I want you to watch and hear me out first, so that you know that, trusting me is justified. I have a lot of content here that will prove my point, that also shows, yeah, I have gone through all this. And I can sit here and I could be angry about all this negative, discouraging shit that's being said about me, or I could recognize what's really going on here. Like, this is clearly exactly what would be happening if I'm right. If I was wrong, I would have blown up a long time ago, just because people would have just been interested in it. It's just weird and interesting shit that I would have been doing. But if I was right about everything, of course, none of my videos could ever gain any traction, because from the very first video that I made, a lot of the things that I'm doing this for is because I want to end child suicide that's done nothing but skyrocket since September 11th, 2001. I mean, that's an important issue. That's one that really matters to me. I want to do this also because at the same time, children and adults alike are being bought, sold, abused, and used, and we all know that afterwards they are going to be discarded and thrown away in unpleasant manners. It's just the dark nature of that reality. And there is plenty of proof to prove that it does happen. I'm not talking about who's necessarily doing it, but, when you understand that a simple cause like child suicide and human trafficking is not like the main cause that's all being protested for, represented, or however you want to look at it. When that was all not packaged along the Me Too movement, we understand something's really wrong here. When we do understand that there is abuse of children in Hollywood, and that was never a main talking or selling point of the Me Too movement, holy shit, what's going on when only Elijah Wood and Corey Feldman were really trying to explain that children are also being victimized, and really, they're the most defenseless of them all, and they're the ones who would definitely be being talked into things in the worst manner possible. Why wouldn't we care about that? Is it because those things would cut down barriers that both sides could agree about those issues? I believe so. I believe anything that could actually unite us is ultimately something they will never allow to be the mainstream big deal. And it's why wouldn't we be fighting and, promoting to fight against human trafficking? Why is In-N-Out the only group that on their bags they have a hotline for human trafficking? I mean, these are strange issues in our society, because if the government and the powerful are not involved, why is this stuff being quote unquote swept under the rug, in the sense that we are not talking about it, that it is the elephant in the room? That's really odd. And I think if you're someone who's caring about that, and you're also caring about the fact that if you look at societies on this planet as a whole and history as a whole, you realize that the powerless have always suffered due to the powerful. And the one thing that could be a total reality in Star Trek that isn't is the fact that those who have and wield power in the Star Trek universe, at the very least, do so for the most part for the right reasons. And we see what's capable when diplomacy, when people represent both sides equally, and instead of just arguing for one side or the other, try to find the compromise that isn't even truly a compromise, but allows both sides to actually realize they're not losing anything, they're gaining more than they even originally asked for. And sometimes the only thing that they just have to get their head around is that it's not quite the answer they asked for, but it is actually an answer that delivers everything they asked for, but it looks different. And until they realize that it looks different, but it is in fact what they asked for, they can't appreciate it. Sometimes you have to ramble a bit when you're talking about these things. And I also feel like when you're one of the few people who's just trying to go, hey, why am I, like, if I'm kind of this inept at this shit, why am I the only one who's trying to talk about the most important things while trying to not be so utterly divisive? The only things that I've really ever taken issue with is trying to point out, not that the people who are doing the bidding of the powerful that are the problem, but I try to expose, like, hey, you know, when we're worrying about certain things and we don't worry about other things, it's like there are certain kinds of urgencies that are not being respected. When you see the massive movement for Palestine and Israel, it makes a lot of sense. But then why isn't there an equal movement to protect people from human trafficking? I mean, it's grown to surpass either the drug or the arms trade. Either way, it's a huge industry, and that... Why is caring about that so crazy and wrong? Why is caring about the fact that our lives do not have to be a struggle, that it should not be suffering? When people are like, hey, it's a dog-eat-dog world, it's like, do you not understand that everything in this world was imagined and created, from money to everything else? You know, it took a great many people to imagine a nation. And that's exactly what all these things are. Somebody's told us the rules, and we all respect those rules and try to operate under those rules. But the rules are flawed and do not provide beneficial results. And as a matter of fact, you will see that for the most part, all of the different methods that have been tried in different societies, other than maybe Japan, just do not fucking work. None of the societies actually are enabled to function properly, because how you can understand that is if all societies suffer some kind of major struggle, other than, again, Japan, where everybody seems to mostly be pretty well off, and even those who aren't completely well off are at least taken care of. It's like, what the fuck is going on here? We only have one truly functioning society, and they're the only ones who got the shit bombed out of them? That's weird. These are the things that I've noticed, and if you look at my videos from the beginning, you realize that I was talking about the most grounded and real shit. And then the more that I just was kind of ignored when I was trying to talk about really important things, and I just really wanted someone's help. You know, and I'm very blatant and obvious about that in all of my videos. And I'm not afraid of public shame. I've been completely honest the entire time, which is a very cringy thing to do, yes, but it's also not something to be discouraged or criticized if somebody at the end of the day is going, hey, the building's on fire, we need to get out, or hey, there's a shark in the water, we need to close down the beach. Those are valid things to do, and unless somebody's going to sit there and actually listen and not just judge, but try to go, all right, let me actually absorb what he's saying, what he believes, and let me see all the work that he's put in. And then let me, go, do I agree? Do I disagree? Is this valid? What's going on here? I feel that's fair. But I definitely feel like when I've made countless video after countless video that just through either ethics, morals, or just pointing out obvious truths that are not discussed and are often ignored, the elephants in the room, like, even if I'm not the only one doing it, I am doing it with a unique approach. There is something different here. And, that's why I invite you to actually watch and then be the judge. And it's very easy to realize people who are actually real. because, like, to tell you the truth, I just know the difference. I know these people are agents. I know I'm not crazy. But I'm also a humble and honest person, and I like to give the benefit of the doubt. But if somebody doesn't take me seriously, doesn't listen to me honestly, and then doesn't try to go, all right, he's an idiot, but he's an idiot who made an amazing discovery. I need to know everything he knows so that I can make the actual amazing discovery. Like, I don't want the credit for anything. I just want this shit to fix everything. Like, I believe that we don't have to suffer, that the world can be a beautiful paradise. Okay? Even though I believe I'm the chosen one, I don't care about credit. I don't care about worship. I just want to do the job. The only reason I want to be the chosen one is because I just keep sitting around going, all right, where's anyone who's saying the stuff that I'm saying? I can't find it anywhere. If you can show me somebody who is doing what I'm doing but better, and that's the thing, because I believe I'm right about everything, I just don't believe that I'm an A+ student. No. I'm not making the best shit. I don't necessarily make the best YouTube videos, but I know that, like I said at the beginning, my own worth. That I'm good enough that people will enjoy my shit just because nobody else is doing it. You know, I deserve a cult following. Maybe nothing more, but, you know, definitely a cult following, and not cult worshippers. Just people who are like, this is really awesome. I like that there's finally something that resonates with me, because I look for this and it doesn't exist anywhere else, so I'm happy that it's here. And you know what? If I watch and I listen and absorb enough of his stuff, I can probably do it way better, and go ahead and do it, because I don't care if somebody else gets the whatever for it, because at the end of the day, if I believe great power comes with great responsibility, maybe my entire thing is to just assemble the Avengers to present all of this so that somebody else can go and do the real work that saves and benefits us all. But maybe also I am that person, and if you believe and and want to support me, and if you don't mind, getting behind me as a shield, if you want to put me out in front and have me absorb all of evil and face that crap alone, just with you guys behind me cheering me on, I will totally do that too. I just want to help us all, because we deserve better. And I'm not going to make any more videos after this until I actually see real honest to fucking proof that the shadow banning is lifted. Because I'm not falling for their bullshit anymore. It doesn't offend me. It just upsets me, because I'm like, I wish I was wrong, because if I was wrong, people would be liking my videos, and I probably would be more successful already. I probably would have maybe even made a lot of money off of this and been living a good life. And at the end of the day, I don't know how I feel about that, because I can totally tell that I'm not wrong, because I understand that if I'm right, then what I'm doing is dangerous to evil, that it is the right thing to do, that it is standing up and confronting evil, and being someone who was inspired by stuff like Kingdom Hearts, but doing it earnestly, realizing that all I'm doing is trying to stand here weaponless, saying that my friends are my power, and I want to face this great evil, being that person who's willing to go out in the front and face whatever may come my way, because I believe I'm protected. I believe nothing bad's going to happen to me, and then therefore those I'm protecting, nothing bad can happen to either. I really believe in the utmost of this spiritual power, because I have nearly died in the hospital. And the interesting thing was, the last time I was there, and when I firmly believed that they were going to give me an overdose of insulin, because they were trying to. I kept telling them if they gave me that dose of insulin, it would kill me, and they refused to listen to me, so I had to leave. And then as I left that day, I found out there was this woman named Jessie Peterson who went to the same fucking hospital. Mercy San Juan. She was born the same year I was born, and we even bear a slight resemblance to each other. And I'm not even going to put up any pictures here, because it doesn't really matter if she does look like me, okay? What matters is the fact that this was a woman who was evidently suffering from some mental health crisis at the time. She was struggling. I have been homeless just like I believed that she was homeless. And I've gone into the hospital multiple times. I mean, I've been in and out of the hospital over the last several years, probably 40, 50 times. I don't know how many times. It's been a lot. And I've nearly died due to my diabetes, just like this woman. But every single time that I went into the hospital, it's like, yeah, for the first 12 hours I was getting help. And then after that, it's like all of a sudden they were wanting to do things that I kept telling them if they did would not be helpful and were not the problem. Just no one in the hospital was listening to me and was wanting to work with me. And I've discussed this before in other videos. So when I get out and I see that this woman died in the hospital somehow, and then they hid her body and didn't tell anyone for a year. And the thing is, when I was leaving I've been to that hospital several times because I've gone to all different kinds of hospitals and I've received the same exact abusive treatment everywhere. So I eventually realized it didn't matter where I went, and I just was hoping for the best each time. But when I left there last year, around the time when it was happening, I was getting this feeling like in Blade, that they had some kind of storage facility where bodies were being kept for nefarious reasons. And I felt it deep in my bones. And then, this story comes out this year, and after I'm nearly overdosed in the hospital, no less. But then after all that, I start really taking the ideas of fighting the spiritual forces completely seriously. I contact Native Americans and I request their help. And they basically at first are willing to help me. And they confirmed for me that, yeah, I'm doing the work that I thought I was doing, which is pretty cool. But then when I show them the videos and the work that I'm doing, that, they might not necessarily agree with the approach. But what I'm honestly trying to do is to take all of the different religious, spiritual beliefs that I've been inspired by and go, hey, I don't really want to judge anything. I don't even necessarily want to worship anything. I want to go, I have found merit and value and good in every single spiritual teaching that exists on this planet. And I think that's wonderful, and that I found that they're all true, and that I believe ultimately that there is an evil that has definitely been oppressing us, because the simple truth just has always been that the powerful do not wield their power properly. And the one thing that's in Star Trek that could absolutely be true is people wielding power responsibly and understanding that we can create and enforce any kind of rules that we want to shape and better a society. And no one, you just have all of us powerless people arguing over different methods, and yet the powerful people aren't listening to all those different methods and then trying to find solutions that then they present to us and go, hey, I understand what you asked for, but we are able to give you the results that you want through these methods. What do you think about that? That's not what's being done. All they're doing is just bickering and fighting the same way that we do amongst ourselves. So what good are they? Why would we listen to them? Why would we trust them when we know that they're corrupt, dishonest liars? What? How is it sane to trust those people and to even participate in any kind of political bullshit at all when it's pointless, when it's just it's like sports. We pick sides and then we just, cheer for our side and root against the other side. And the only thing that I've ever tried to do here is go, I don't care about sides, I care about results. I care about the fact that the powerful are making all the powerless people's lives, who actually are kind of the powerful people when you think about it, because we're the doctors, we're the nurses, we're the EMTs, we're the police, we're the military, we're the power station workers. We create the art, the entertainment. We are the movers and the shakers. We make this big ball of earth spin. We are the cogs in the machine, and without us, they would have absolutely nothing. Because you know what? They're cruel, but they obviously need us, and they obviously want us enslaved in one way or another. We are all slaves. Even the B movie, yes, the B movie of all things, points it out. And I'm not even going to explain how. Just go and watch it and go, why the fuck is this movie this weird, bizarre, and profound? Well, that's exactly what I've been doing here on this channel. Because we're trying to break the fourth wall Deadpool style, because, at the end of the day, I didn't really care about anything until I saw this girl named Caitlin Nicole Davis hang herself on Facebook. She was doing it live streaming. I called the police in Georgia where it was happening, and I reported it, much like so many people were doing. Nothing was done. She was left there hanging. They let this girl fucking die, okay? And when I tell you that I relate so deeply to her, and I'm like, fuck. All she needed was somebody who was just her friend. And I wanted to be that so deeply for her. And I don't care if anybody tries to misinterpret that any way they want. This little girl needed a father figure in her life. And at the end of the day, all she really needed was a cop to come and see her in the tree and take her down. Because she was literally preparing to do this on Facebook for like 40 minutes or some shit. They took down the entire video from the internet because it proves that just like with the Uvalde school shooting, this life could have been saved, but people sat with their thumbs up their fucking ass and did nothing. And that, yeah, it affected me. It broke me. Just like seeing all the injustice in the world broke me. Just like facing direct injustice myself broke me. And I have told my own personal story on this channel many times. But that is beside the point because it is not about me. It's about all of us. And I love you all. You are my Ohana, you powerless, poor victims who I wish I could be your Superman. Because at the end of the day, that's all I've ever tried to fucking do. I just want to save you all and create a better life for us all. And I don't even care if afterwards you walk around and go, Prince Ali, da 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 da. I don't care about that shit. I just want to do the work. I just want to be the sheriff of the town who protects us and does his job because that's his duty. Like, y'all can live in mansions way bigger than me. I just want a nice place to live in. That's about it. And it doesn't have to be fancier than anybody else's. I want everything equal. Like, yeah, I know my own worth and I want things that I know we all deserve. But that's the whole thing. I don't want to walk over anyone. And I want to reach the top so that I can pull as many up who are reaching to get to the top as possible. I want to be Walt Disney, who creates a company so that we all can work together so that we can all be the Knights of the Round Table, you know. And I know that's cringy and silly, but fuck, what if it was possible? And what if I've passed all of my tests and this video and all of my videos prove that, and the only people who are failing are the ones who are listening and doing nothing, because the only thing necessary for evil to triumph is for good people to do nothing. And I am giving you the easiest thing in the world. Nobody wants to be the one who puts themselves out front and is the voice and face of this kind of thing because it's dangerous. Yeah, there are people out there who want the power and they want the fame for having done that. But are those the people that you want in front of you? Or do you want the person who really believes that they're Captain America, and not only are they going to protect you, but they're not going to martyr themselves. They're going to go out, fight for you, and return. And anyone who wants to fight alongside them, they're going to make sure that, you know, no man's left behind. Because Ohana means family, and family means no one gets left behind or forgotten. And the powerful have left all of us supposedly powerless people behind and forgotten about us. And that proves that they absolutely failed their only job. And all I want is to fix all of this mess. Planet-wide, I don't want to destroy any cultures because I see the value in all cultures and all faiths, all religions. Everything is wonderful. Everything is based around the same common foundations. And it's just different ways of expressing ourselves. And I think that's wonderful. I like uniqueness. I don't want us to all be faceless Cobra Troopers. I want us to be all the unique, diverse, equal G.I. Joes. And when you realize that that is a true statement that you can discover by watching that show, that wow, the Joes are all unique personalities. And the Cobras, except for the leaders, they're the only ones who get to be unique. You know, you can't walk around and dress in costume and cosplay, because that's not okay, because the world's run by Cobra. But if it was run by G.I. Joe, we could all be as unique as we wanted to be. Or if we don't want to be unique at all, we wouldn't have to be. The whole point is, I'm not telling you that we have to do anything. I'm telling you I want a world of choices. Because I don't believe that we're to blame for any of this. I believe that they're to blame for this. I believe that there is an evil force to blame for this. I believe that we would all make the right choice if we had the power. I don't believe that power corrupts all at all. I believe that it's just the fact that the only people who actually chased after that power were the corrupt, because everybody else just sat back after they were told they were the chosen one and just couldn't believe it. And that's why being the chosen one is just being the one who has the utmost faith to go, well, motherfucker, if you called, I'm answering. If this is my call of duty, then fuck it. That's why Call of Duty was always something I loved, because that's how it should work. Everything that you love should just one day click into place and tell you, hey, these were all signs and messages of things that you were going to do. I hear voices in my head. They counsel me. They understand. They talk to me. They tell me things that I will do. They show me things I'll do to you. Thank you so much for listening. I hope I haven't rambled on too much.